Hi, my name is Jongwan from Ajun University. So today, the name of the paper that I'm going to present is I'm a smartwatch, smart enough to know the accuracy of my own heart rate sensor. So this study was conducted with DGIST. So first, I want to start by giving you some background information. So recently, the number of people wearing a smartwatch is dramatically increasing. The Business Insider predicted that the demand of the smartwatches and fitness bands will increase steadily. Most people who buy smartwatches and fitness bands expect healthcare and fitness measurement features. So for these devices, obtain new information from the human body with motion sensor and heart rate sensor. So let's look at the sensing modalities supported by a typical smartphone and smartwatch. So actually, built-in sensors are not too different between these devices. However, where is your smartphone? It may be in your pocket or bag. So unlike smartphones, smartwatches are attached to the user's skin. So we can see the potential for use in clinical applications using the characteristics of wearable devices. However, are these sensors accurate enough for clinical applications? The inaccurate readings can negatively impact the healthcare applications implication on the user's health status. So despite this importance, the smartwatch vendors admit that the accuracy of heart rate readings may not be high. So these heart rate sensors on the smartwatches use the PPG readings to infer heart rate. So according to the manual, users should sit still and measure in order to obtain high accuracy. And motion artifacts or wearing patterns can affect the reading accuracy. So in this environment, smartwatches are typical to be used for clinical application. So what can we do to solve this problem? So we suggest a filter to determine the accuracy of measurement. So if smartwatches can calculate the accuracy of the heart rate sensor itself, the application can selectively use the measurement result according to the accuracy. So you can easily think that you can correct the wrong measurements and it is plausible to detect such wrong sensor readings. However, it is not easy to fix already broken measurements to normal values because there can be many external factors. Instead, we can try to apply a filter to eliminate wrong measurements as process prior to calibrating wrong measurements. So this is what we aim to do in this work. So some previous work shows that they can calibrate or identify motion artifacts using the accelerometer readings. Usually, these algorithms are complex and the computation takes place offline. So nevertheless, in order to validate the accelerometer-based approach proposed in previous works, we used Apple Watch and LG Urbane and Samsung Gear S2 for data collection. And as a ground truth, we used Zephyr's bioharness. This device is FDA-approved ECG-based chest strap compactor and able to read heart rate very accurately even when the user works. So we asked 4 volunteers to naturally work in hallway and open field under fluorescent and daylight conditions while wearing a smartwatch and bioharness. So in order to know the difference in accuracy caused by the wearing condition of users, we ask users to wear the smartwatch tightly or loosely and work. So look at following graphs. The y-axis is heart rate reading in beats per minute, and the x-axis is timestamp in seconds. The red line represents readings from the bioharness as the ground truth, and the blue line represents readings from the smartwatch. First, when the user wears the smartwatch tightly, there are not much difference between the smartwatches and the bioharness readings. The mean error is approximately 3 BPM for all kinds of smartwatch. Second, the accuracy of the heart rate sensor was not high when the devices are loosely worn. This shows that the wearing condition can have crucial impact on the accuracy of heart rate sensor. So the error is about 18 BPM on LG Urbane, and in case of other smartwatches, Apple Watch has 9 BPM error, and Samsung QS2 has 29 BPM error. Third, each accelerometer signals are similar both wearing condition. So the average cross-correlation coefficient between the two data is 0.77, indicating that the two signal is similar. In conclusion, motion sensor may not be enough to measure accuracy of heart rate sensor or may need to complex signal process techniques. So here is a brief overview of the principles of smartwatch's heart rate sensor PPG. So it emits green light to the skin at 1 kHz. And the reflected level of light is detected at the photodiode and is used to measure the amount of blood flowing through the veins. So this value is used to estimate the heart rate. So we decided to look in deeper into each characteristics to find a potential pointer towards identifying wrong heart rate readings. So these graphs are for the Samsung QS2. So like previous LG Urban Watches graph, when the user wears smartwatch tightly, error is not high. In the opposite case, usual one, on the right graph, the heart rate readings from smartwatch diverge far from the ground truth as we expected. So the accelerometer pattern is similar both one conditions. However, especially Samsung QS2 using Tizen OS provides light intensity of PPG sensor. So we plot this light intensity as a black line. So the important point here that we need to understand is that each accelerometer signals are similar both situations, but light intensity signals are different. So when the smartwatch's heart rate readings diverge from the bioharness, the light intensity values tend to show higher variations. So we thought that the PPG sensor's light intensity value may be a hint in classifying accurate and inaccurate heart rate readings. So to validate our observations, we wanted to know how light intensity impacts the quality of heart rate measurements. As we saw in the previous slide with loose wearing condition, the light intensity values tend to show higher variation. However, a different angle of observing PPG light intensity is looking at the changes in absolute value as well. So to figure out what characteristics of light intensity affects the heart rate accuracy, we 3D printed 3 rings of different heights and 1 ring with holes. So the 3 rings affect the absolute value of light intensity by changing the distance between the PPG sensor and the skin. When using these rings, we noticed that the absolute value of light intensity decreased with increased height. The ring with holes generates a case where external light passes between the PPG sensor and the skin. So we use this ring to intentionally make variations to light intensity readings. So we run 2 sets of experiments with 3 rings with holes and 1 ring with 3 rings without holes and 1 ring with holes. And figure A on the left graph shows that the heart rate sensor error is less than 10 BPM in all cases when users stand still. However, figure B on the right shows that the errors for all cases when users walk are higher than the case of figure A. Especially in case of with holes, the difference of error between the figure A and figure B is highest because of the varying patterns of external light. In conclusion, if the PPG sensor is moved by motion artifacts, the external light patterns interfere heart rate readings as seen in the previous situation with the ring with holes. This complicates the photodiode from reading the light reflected from the skin. So naturally, this drops the accuracy of heart rate readings. So with these findings in mind, to design a system to detect the heart rate reading accuracy, the next step is to design a filter. So according to preliminary studies, by analyzing the PPG sensor light intensity variance, we can potentially design a filter for classifying this the accuracy of the smartwatch's heart rate sensor readings. Intuitively, a threshold-based scheme for PPG light intensity variance may seem plausible and extremely lightweight. However, the changes between two consecutive readings are too rigorous that the stability of the decision-making may suffer without the knowledge of long-term readings. Moreover, each user has their own wearing conditions, so that the predefined threshold-based model may not be fit. So instead of threshold-based design, we design a filter using variance of the light intensity value of the PPG sensor in the time window. So the design of our filter employs the Viterbi algorithm. The Viterbi algorithm is used for finding the most likely sequence of hidden states. So we define the delta L as the set of differences among consecutive PPG light intensity readings in time window t to t plus w. Then we identify light intensity step size by max value in time window divided by n0. n0 is the number of observations. Then we compute the observation for each time window. The detail of the filter design can be found in our paper. So we apply our data sets to this filter. These graphs show a result after applying our filter to our data set. This plots a time series of samples collected from Samsung Galaxy S2 and the bioharness with Luzol 1. So this sample is one of the 4 samples we collected from our participants. So in this experiment, the user started with 3 minutes of non-moving, followed by 10 minutes of actively moving. As we expected, when the user started work, readings diverse. The gray background represents the smartwatch is reading the accurate values with less than 3 BPM difference from the ground truth. And the green dots above indicate that our filter has classified a measurement as accurate. And the dots below indicate that our filter classified a measurement as inaccurate. So our filter classifies samples well, but you can see that there are some wrong classification. To resolve such drawback, we focus on the fact that the heart rate does not change instantaneously. So specifically, instead of using instantaneous measurements, we use the moving average of values as observation inputs. As a result, the modified filter conservatively declares accurate samples when recent measurements were inaccurate. So as you see, not all dots are high in the gray area. Note that in clinical situations, our filter should be highly reliable. However, if not perfect, our filter should minimize false negative, which classifies inaccurate samples as accurate. So take a look at our true negative and false negative graphs. In the 3 BPM case, if the value reported by smartwatches has less than 3 BPM difference with ground truth, we declare that samples as accurate. And if the difference is more than 3 BPM, the measurement is considered inaccurate. So the true negative cases is when our filter correctly classifies inaccurate samples as inaccurate. And the false negative case is when our filter wrongly classifies inaccurate samples as accurate. So note once again that our filter should minimize false negatives, given that we want to suppress inaccurate samples from being used as inputs for clinical applications. So in the 3 BPM case, the true negative shows the 95% and false negative was low at 5%. In other words, our filter shows good performance in properly identifying inaccurate measurements from the smartwatch. So if we ease the bounds for determining accurate measurements, the true negatives decrease while false negative increases. So in summary, we evaluated the heart rate measurement capability of the current smartwatches in various wearing conditions. And based on this, we identify that accelerometer-based motion estimations may not be enough to predict inaccurate heart rate measurements. So we designed and implemented a filter to detect which data samples differ from the ground truth. Our filter can be further improved. Our filter will get more accurate results by combining on accelerometer information. And we will also modularize our filter so that developers can use it to develop clinical applications. In addition, though this study measured the normal working condition, we can be also applied to highly active sports such as tennis. Finally, battery efficiency is important because clinical devices must continuously check your health. These are just a subset of the future work we plan to do, and I will be happy to receive feedback on how you think that our system can be applicable to real-world clinical applications. And thank you, and I will be happy to take any questions.